The airport environment should be kept free of breeding birds which pose a risk to aircraft operations. This is part of 9 recommendations in the report presented by Nigeria's Accident Investigation Bureau to Sao Tome and Principe. The island country in the Gulf of Guinea had asked Nigeria to investigate an aircraft accident that occurred there in July 2017. Our aviation correspondent Bukola Joe Ketumbi reports.
In July 2017, a Kavok Air Antonov aircraft performing a flight from Sao Tome to Accra in Ghana ingested a number of birds, prompting the crew to reject takeoff. The aircraft overran the end of the runway and was substantially damaged beyond repair. On the invitation of the Sao Tome government, the Accident Investigation Bureau of Nigeria investigated the accident. 17 months after, the report is ready and officials from Nigeria are in that country to present the document. The boss of the accident agency in Nigeria reads out one of the 9 safety recommendations.
They should improve the habitat management program, including reduction or elimination of trees, shrubs, and other plants which provide food, shelter, or roasting sites for birds.
Then the report is handed over.
As the first cooperation regarding investigation out of Nigeria. That's why we're very proud to be the first country with Nigeria perform the investigation for.
With the International Air Transport Association praising Africa's records of no jet oil losses for 2 years and no fatalities on any aircraft in Africa, the Minister of Infrastructure and Environment of Sao Tome says the recommendations will be implemented.
This is the easiest part of the problem. Of course, we will do our best to improve all this situation.
To further the relationship between both parties in the area of accident investigation, they put pen to paper. With an MOU in place between Nigeria and Sao Tome, experts say this is a plus for aviation cooperation and capacity development, as most countries in Africa commit to raising the safety bar. From the Nigerian Embassy in Sao Tome and Principe, Bukola Joe Ketumbi, Channels Television News.
Thank you for staying with us. Welcome to Sports News. All is now set for the 19th National Sports Festival as the Games have officially begun following a successful opening ceremony. No fewer than 7,227 athletes will be vying for honors at the 10-day event, which will end on December the 16th. At today's opening ceremony at the Federal Capital Territory, Edo State has the largest number of contingents with a total of 591 athletes. They're closely followed by Team Delta with 545. Nigeria's senior men's basketball team, the Tigers, are still the best-ranked team in the continent despite dropping 1 spot to the 33rd position in the latest world ranking released by the world governing body FIBA. The Tigers have also been solid on the continent, setting an unbeaten record in the qualification series for the 2019 FIBA World Cup, recording 9 wins from 9 qualification games to pick one of the tickets for the tournament in China next year. Nigeria is closely trailed by Angola on the 2nd spot in the continent and ranked 36th in the world. Senegal is ranked 39th in the world. On the 4th spot is Tunisia on the 51st position, while Egypt completes the top 5 in the continent and 52nd in the world. To football, where Chelsea manager Maurizio Sarri wants his players to be prepared for their biggest test yet, the English Premier League, when they host reigning champions and league leaders Manchester City this weekend. Pep Guardiola's City are still unbeaten in 15 EPL matches, while Chelsea have lost 2 games this season. He expects a big reaction Saturday, but already appears to have settled for a top 4 scrap, along with London rivals Tottenham and Arsenal, rather than chasing down the champions. That's it on Sports News. The News at 10 continues shortly.
China has demanded the release of Huawei's chief financial officer Meng Wanzhou after she was arrested in Vancouver earlier this month. According to the Canadian Justice Department, Meng, also known as Sabrina Meng and Kathy Meng, faces extradition to the United States. No reason has been given for the arrest, but there are fears that the situation threatens the trade truce between the United States and China, agreed on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The French government is yet to enjoy any peace following protests over the last 3 weeks over some of the economic reforms placed by President Emmanuel Macron. And that's, of course, because more protests are still ongoing in Paris by the so-called Yellow Vest. Their protests have grown into a wider expression of anger about the rising cost of living, with another planned for Saturday. The government says that it fears there would be major violence if the protests continue. They have appealed for calm and is also considering mobilizing the military to protect important national monuments. The world's famous Arc de Triomphe was damaged last week. Today, young people took to the streets, continuing a protest over educational reforms. The president hopes to change the end of school exams, which is required for entrance into the university. And the main news again. The All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, today flagged off its nationwide campaign ahead of the 2019 general elections. The party has promised Nigerians equity, transparency and accountability. Also today, the main opposition People's Democratic Party, the PDP, took its Southwest campaign rally to Oyo State, where it renewed commitment to restructure the country. And China today demanded a release of Huawei Technologies executive who was arrested in Canada over possible violation of sanctions against Iran. And that's been the news at 10 tonight. On behalf of everyone here, have a splendid night rest. I am Gimba Umar. Good night.